And yes, it's recording.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We just talked about values over here. The Roman numeral 5V stands for values. Remember, value is a chosen direction. You choose a direction in your head, and then you do behaviors to move you in that direction.
Now, one way of knowing that we are heading east is by taking in information from the environment.
Yeah. And how do we do that?
Using the 5 senses.
Using the 5 senses, and in the ACTbyNumbers, the 5 senses are always Roman numeral 1. It's just an easy way of saying the 5 senses.
Now let me think. What are the 5? I always have a hard time remembering.
You know, before we started doing this a bunch, I always missed one of them. The easiest one to start with is sight. Sight. So that's, you see things. Here. Obviously you can hear Gerald and I talking. Here.
That's another way of taking in information.
Taking in information about the world.
We could smell.
Smell something. There you go. You can smell.
We get closer to
we got
the
3.
ocean.
We got sight, sound, and smell. Hey, I just felt my fingers. Reminded me. Touch. So you can touch things, or like feel temperature on your skin. So that's another one.
And number 5 is taste.
Taste. So literally when you're eating, or almost all the time if you pay a little attention to it, there's taste in your mouth. There's always taste going on. So that's the basic 5 senses. And they're represented by number 1. And you take in that information constantly.
Although there's an interesting thing about the 5 senses.
What's that?
We tend to focus on one, although information is going through all 5 channels.
That's true. Which one do we focus on the most?
It depends.
It depends. That's true. Now I will say, we know from knowing about the human brain that most of the human brain is devoted to sight. It's got this big old thing in the back, occipital lobe is called, devoted to sight. So we pay a heck of a lot of attention to sight. But those other 4 are just cooking right along, coming in all the time. Well, there's 5. All 5 together. And you're just focusing on one at a time. Right? So that's the 5 senses. For the purposes of ActbyNumbers, that's where you're taking in direct information about your current environment. Right. Okay? So that's what you need to know about that. And now we'll move on to the next video. See you in the next one.